CNN was at a eugenics conference for some reason. That's cool. It would appear CNN was at the eugenics conference. Why are all these mainstream news orgs at a 200-person event where all the speakers are eugenicists and racists? Well, they show up for, like, cabinet meetings. Why are high fertility people always so weird? A weekend with the pro-natalists. Oh, God, it's,
Raise your hand if you are a mom or...
Okay, sure. We're already here. We've already dunked on these people a lot, right? These are usually, like, mid-wit trust fund babies who get the idea that they're superior to every other living thing on Earth, and that the only way for humanity to survive is for their glorious gene seed essence to spread, or whatever. And if you, like, look at them directly, they're almost always really socially awkward autists who have just found another socially awkward autist. They're scary people, man. Why is CNN here? Like, I get maybe the dig is that you're making fun of them, but why even give them the attention? Why have CNN show up at a 200-person natal conference? Why? Okay, let me watch the video before I get mad. Probably because they're mega donors? Yeah, probably.
Dad in the room here tonight. This is the war for civilization, and we are going to win it one life at a time.
We're here at NatalCon, which is a gathering of about 200 people from all over the world who have come here because they all feel very strongly that the world needs more babies.
There's a civilizational catastrophe coming, and the way to solve...
All right, just out of curiosity, what kind of babies? Already the whitewashing has begun. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm jumping ahead. Like, obviously, all of these people want white babies. Maybe they're going to say that in a second.
All it is to have sex? Like, that's got to be the easiest pitch in history.
Birth rates around the world are plummeting, and they think this is the issue of our time.
It's a massive conversation, and that's why we're here.
We need to encourage more people to get married and have kids. We need those people to be the people of the future.
Many countries are no longer having enough kids to replace their populations. Some experts predict this will cause labor shortages and inflation, permanently changing the economy. The people most passionate about this call themselves pro-natalists.
People are like, why are high fertility people always...
These are the famous ones. These are the famous ones right here. Jesus Christ, look at this cosplay. This is what you guys accuse me of doing when I'm like, I like heritage menswear. I like it when the military wear is from the 60s or something. This is what you guys hear from me when I say that. Yeah, they're freaks.
So weird.
Malcolm and Simone Collins have 4 kids, soon to be 5.
Like, that's not even that much, man. I guess they're pretty young.
Are some of the loudest advocates for pronatalism.
What we've seen is pronatalism and demographic collapse have become the global warming of the right. Some of the first people who really recognize the scale of the problem are major players in the White House right now, you know, like J.D. Vance and Elon Musk.
The birth rate is very low in almost every country. And unless that changes, civilization will disappear.
Elon Musk's fixation with population collapse has pushed pronatalism into the spotlight.
The fact that so far there's been no mention in this video of the fact that all of these people are white nationalists, I don't know. Seems like laundering to me.
His tweets about NatalCon helped double attendance for this year's event, where the tickets cost $1,000.
Well, I guess so, because they're all wealthy, right? Like, this is like, if they were actually interested in bringing back birth rates, like, for real, they would be advocating for social programs that increase birth rates, you know? They would be increasing funding for stuff like WIC, family planning, paid maternity and paternity leave, like all of those practices that we know make it easier to plan for a family. They would be doing that, but they don't, because they don't actually care. What they want is more white babies, so they don't want social programs that might proportionately benefit more black or non-white people than white people. And also, yeah, I think this might just be like a hookup spot for groypers a little bit. Well, not groypers. This isn't GroyperCon. Groypers don't want to touch women. They're all gay and incels and stuff. I'm sure a lot of these people are too. But this is like a different crowd a little bit.
Yes, I spent all of my savings coming here, actually.
Do you want to have kids?
Yes.
You don't have kids?
No. No.
How many do you want to have?
Well, minimum 5. I want to have my first at 22, and then I want to have
so you gotta get on that.
Yeah, I know.
Organizers said they heard a lot of interest in matchmaking, so they gave yellow wristbands.
Jesus Christ, oh my God. Who in chat called that? Are you kidding me? $1,000 for this? You can speed date for free.
To singles to help them find each other.
It's a goddamn, it's a no loads refused eugenicist party.
Yes.
So you're,
and
you're open to mingling.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Have you met anybody good?
I'm not sure if you can tell.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of lads here. There's not that many ladies.
I appreciate him saying it before I could. Barely disguised kink. Yeah, no, like, whenever you see the, like, trad wife, trad husband thing that straight couples play out, you realize, like, they're just doing a kink. Like, they're doing the same thing that gay men do with, like, the leather daddy, leather sub thing. The difference is that gay people are self-aware enough to understand that it's a kink. And if you do that shit in public, I think it's pretty weird. But straight people do it in public and they act like it's religious dominion. That's the difference. Like, the difference is when queer people do shit like that, they acknowledge what it is. And when straight people do it, they're like, no, 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 no. When I have my wife wear a bonnet and, like, big Amish circular glasses, and we talk about breeding all the time while I, like, shuffle my legs around to hide my erection, that's not a breeding kink. This isn't, like, a kink or anything. This is just, like, I don't know, a biological mandate or whatever. When I go on news, when I go to, like, news orgs to talk about how, like, I f my wife and knock her up over and over and over again, it's not a kink thing for us. Like, we're just, like, doing nature or something? I'm not really sure.
Speakers are largely dry economist types, focused on tweaks to boost birth rates, from tax credits to housing.
I liked homeschooling was one of them. Yeah, dude. And if you want the girls to get knocked up by their dads. My 11-minute short film comp/contrast between two lifestyles. Anyone got any ideas on how to increase birth rates? Well, okay, I've made a student art film, 12 Rules for 21st Century Parenting. That's what we need to be following in the footsteps of Jordan Peterson when it comes to good parenting. Can we kill off the men should be more vulnerable meme? Oh, that one got a sticker. Can we... Okay, you know what would make people have more kids? Can we be, like, less gay online? Maybe, I don't know. How to ensure natalism is marbled into the rightward shift of Gen Z men. Marbled? Morbed? Morbius? They like the homeschooling one because they want to knock up their daughters. Do you think they discourage people from putting down stickers that just mentioned white people directly? Like they're trying to keep the artifice up? What does this one say? It's being blocked by the title. Something, something, household and society. Well, let me guess, like men's authority? Yeah, there we go. Restoring men's authority in the household and society. Can you imagine how fucking gay you would have to be to write something like that at a conference being attended 95% by men? I don't know, man. I feel like I'd feel pretty weird.
Birth rates, from tax credits to housing. But politically, the vibe is firmly right-wing.
Really?
The marginal people need to go back.
Holy shit! I haven't seen this guy in ages! Hey! Oh my god! I just fucking relapsed 5 years of my life. I just went back. What a nostalgia hit. Hello, Carl, what's up?
To the margins.
Oh, by the way, Carl has more of a right to be here than anyone because that motherfucker actually does have a kid and has a kid for a while. Like, unlike so many of these grifty, right, where like Lauren Southern types where they're like, yeah, everyone should live trad lives, and then she's like, you know, living the driftless life of a bachelorette or whatever the like. Carl had a kid a while ago, didn't he? It's not his kid? Nah, if you raise a kid, it's your kid. I don't really care.
To raise...
Like, does Jack Posobiec have a kid? I don't even care enough to know. Don't even tell me.
Families. The left is raising pride flags over cat shelters.
In 2024,
That's true.
did have a slight uptick in births.
Oh my god. Fucking Mar-a-Lago makeup, am I right? Look at that. It looks like Marjorie Taylor... It's the same... Dude, why... It does look like MTG a bit, because they all do the same type of shit to their face.
Bad news. It was just the anchor babies from the illegal immigrants.
It's pretty difficult to draw a neat, tidy circle around everybody here. The far right or the extreme right, like, we would like to have more babies, but we would like to have more of our babies. On the other end...
White babies. Why are they sanitizing it? Genuinely, like, CNN, this is really weird. Why are you attending, like, a neo-Nazi conference? Like, the purpose of this conference is literally the 14 words. Like, we will secure a future for our children, whatever. Like, that's literally the point of the conference. Why are you sanitizing that? Like, a lot of these people are overt neo-Nazis. It's just, like, just say that. It's fucking weird.
People like more babies are always good, whether it's babies or immigrants. And the other axis, you know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Find me those people who are speaking. Find me somebody who went up there to the stage and they said, I believe we should raise birth rates for everyone, including brown and black people, immigrants, illegal. It doesn't matter to me. I just want more human beings on Earth. Find me anyone who said that. Genuinely. Maybe there was a guy. I doubt it, but I'd like to see it.
Trad Catholics, Mormons, and then like a kind of tech bro or tech futurist genetic selection of embryos, trying to refine the quality of the babies that are born.
Right, they're all Nazis and eugenicists. It's all the same. You're describing like the same guy over and over. It's like an eclectic mix of different ideologies. You have evangelicals, far-right Mormons, Amish cosplayers, white supremacists, eugenicists, Silicon Valley Peter Thielite tech bros. Bro, you're just describing. How many words are there for Nazi? How many fucking synonyms can you? They're all the same guy. Jesus Christ.
Because the Collinses are building their family through IVF, using experimental testing to rank embryos for traits from health risks to intelligence, they get one of the biggest criticisms.
Like this here is a kink. Like you're doing kink in public. Like this is a sex thing. It is. I'm not trying to do a bit or whatever. Like in a sane world, this would be viewed the same way as if like if the husband was in head to toe leather and the wife was in like pasties or something. Like it's literally the same thing. Why is that baby's head not support? Well, the baby's dead. That baby's dead. That's one of the ones they decided was not worthy. The genes weren't right or something. They do this every month. It's like, you know, the opening of 300 where like all the misshapen babies get thrown into the baby pit.
They get one of the biggest criticisms of pro-natalism, that it's code for eugenics.
Eugenics.
Okay, this CNN video, as far as I'm concerned, is like far-right propaganda. What do you mean? Yeah, we wanted to ask these guys, like, you know, just a little quick. Like, some people argue that when you Goose-Step Sieg Heil, wear SS uniforms, and talk about doing a second Holocaust, some people accuse you of, like, doing Nazi shit. No. What do you mean? Why is this faux centrist shit all the time? What the f? It's objectively eugenics. That's not even like an argument of association. It's not even a matter of self-identification. You literally just described eugenics. You described eugenics. They're selecting for the genes of their children to, like, you've described that. It's not an accusation, it's a factual statement of the world.
Is when you say, these are good traits, these are bad traits.
This is just people choosing among their own embryos. We're not talking about sterilizing people or all the classic problems that are out there with eugenics.
Yeah, it's eugenics as applied to your own children, which is still eugenicist. But if you're at a conference where you're arguing for the moral virtue of doing what you're doing, which you are, you're advocating for applying it in a broader sense. Like, that's how that works. Like, oh no, we're not doing Nazi shit. We only say the N-word, like, interpersonally. Okay, but you're at a conference where you're saying you want to say it, like, to everyone. What do you mean? What do you mean? What are we talking about? It's time to start debating again? You wish. Well, what am I fucking debating here? The breeding kink? At most, I feel like half of people have a breeding kink, okay? Most people aren't this weird about it. They're just weird with it, okay? You can go on Tinder and find any chick and, like, her, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna knock you up, and she's like, oh, you better not, and you're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna knock you up, and she's like, yeah, you better not, and then you don't, because you're not, like, crazy, and that's, like, literally just, like, another day in the life. Just another Tuesday. These are the ones being freaks about it. Not my problem. It's not barely even a kink. It's just like the normal thing. It's just what you're supposed to do, basically. Before some caveman invented pulling out her condoms or whatever the f. You know, the birth rate decline's a real problem. It is, genuinely. Our birth rates are eventually going to stabilize out at a, like, lower point, and it's going to cause serious economic problems. I feel like the thing that people don't want to talk about, and a lot of lefties don't want to talk about this either, is that, like, the main reason people don't want to have kids is because having kids sucks. Like, you have all of your passions and interests, and then you put it on hold basically indefinitely for, like, a significant portion of your life. Like, there's a lot of benefits to having a kid, but remember, in order to hit replacement rates, assuming everyone pairs off as a couple, you need, like, 2.1 kids. Like, you need 2. Some people need 3. It's so expensive. It takes so much time and effort. There's so much stress and anxiety. Both of you need to be totally on it. You need a stable household and relationship, right? so much of the like environment in which we raised kids in the past was kind of like based on the assumption of female subservience, where they would dedicate their lives to child rearing and they couldn't leave. So no matter how bad the relationship got, the guy would just like cheat or whatever, or maybe the woman would. Usually the guy, by the way, like historically. And the kids would just get raised in a loveless household, and that's how it was like forever. And only reason... So basically what I'm saying is that right-leaning people are correct when they say that feminism destroyed birth rates. That's actually true, in the sense that like treating women like people removed their viability as like a domestic slave that can like shore up the fact that people don't actually like raising kids that much. There just used to be more of a benefit to raising kids. Raising kids used to mean you have money, right? Because they would like work on your farm or something. Now that's not really a thing. Not in most cases. Certainly not in developed countries. It also used to not be that expensive, right? You raise kids, but like, how difficult was it to raise a kid back in 1850? Not compared to today. Like nowadays, it's just constant supervision, and you're worried about like, does this affect them that way? Does that affect them this way? Education, this, that, the other, diversity of food, make sure they did it. Whereas like it used to be, yeah, here's like rabbit stew for the household. I guess we've got another hungry mouth to feed for a while, which sucks. And you have to like breastfeed them or something. But like for the most part, they just kind of sit around. The kids, you've got enough kids, they kind of play with each other, you know? Yeah, to me, the solution to this, if you want a steady birth rate, is you need a communal child rearing. Like, you need to bring back the village. Because in a world where people, like adults, have free choice in their own life going on, people just aren't going to choose kids. At least not enough. You know? You need, like, if you have kids, they need to be able to run around outside with, like, 10 other families of kids and hit each other with rocks or whatever the kids like doing. You know? How would that work? I can't even imagine it. It was like that for all of human history up until about 70 or 80 years ago. It's still like that in a lot of the world. Like, you can find areas of America where it's still like that. It's just not as common because those areas tend to be like older developments or more walkable or largely like immigrant neighborhoods. But yeah, if you go to like I saw it in Brooklyn. When I went to Brooklyn in New York City, there was a very immigrant heavy neighborhood that I went to, lots of fruit stands and the like, and there were bunches of kids playing around in an area of the like a pedestrianized street. And like there were no cars there, and the kids were just fucking around, I don't know, doing kid stuff or whatever. But they were definitely for multiple families. Too many of them, different skin tones, whatever. There were multiple parents looking. It wasn't even a park. Like nowadays, when stuff like that happens, people think of going to a park, but like it has to be more than a park. It can't just be like a little like grass enclave surrounded by high-speed traffic where you bring your children for 1 hour of mandated outside time. It has to be like a genuinely integrated environment. Like your kid, Vosh, you surprise kids play outside? I don't get it. Are you listening to the stream on mute and trying to read my lips so you're only getting like half the sentiment? What are you talking about? You need to be able to like let your kid go outside and like on their own and like do stuff and then come back inside. Like that's we all did that up until like the 1990s. That was common even in suburban neighborhoods. Like even in suburbia that was more common. You know? Nowadays CPS will arrest you if you leave your kids alone at home for an hour, even if the oldest one's like 12. Yeah, we need to make society like Ed, Ed and Eddie. Exactly. That's how I grew up. It was common in England in the 80s. Yeah, but like it's just not today. We live in a very low-trust society. Like, nowadays, people are petrified of crime. People are petrified of their kids getting abducted. And don't get me wrong, like, obviously, that's something to be concerned about. And I think that you should be, like, cautious as a parent. I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, I would be I could imagine myself as a dad. I'd be, like, terrified. Sometimes. Like, you yell outside, hey, come back inside, and I don't see my kid. You run outside with, like, a gun or whatever, ready for the day. And it's like, I understand there's a lot of paranoia because children are fragile and very stupid. But like at the same time, that's just life. That's just life, man. Unironically, I was like this where I'd wander around in the suburbs and my parents had the cops called on them. And my parents had the cops called on them multiple times for it. Oh, like people called the cops on your parents because you were wandering the suburbs. Yeah. As if crime is happening in the daytime in fucking suburb. Like, it depends on the area, of course, but like, Jesus Christ. That's not enough, though? No, it's complicated, and a lot of these trends are cyclical, right? Like, keep in mind, we're only right now seeing a population decline after a century-long post-industrial revolution population boom that took us from like 1 billion to 8 billion people in no time. So it's not like the end of the human species or whatever. Like, if the population dipped from 8 billion to 6 billion or something, like, that would be returning back to the level that it was at like 15 years ago. It's not a huge deal. Like, it would lead to economic contraction, it would lead to some issues, but it could be dealt with good policy. It could be dealt with. Again, but none of this has anything to do with what these people want. These people are just fetishists and neo-Nazis, right? We're talking about like actual societal change. We're talking about what, you know, you could do to improve the world. These people are just, yeah. These people are just, yeah, cream pie fetishists, LARPers, Amish lovers, evangelicists, whatever. Are both natalists and anti-natalists far right? No, anti-natalists are edgy teenage anarchists for the most part. But don't listen to them. They grow out of it. Once they graduate high school, they've got other stuff going on. What's that meme? The anti-natalism leaving my body as the goth girl across from me at the Arby's gives me a foot job under the table.
Of the conference, press coverage called out some speakers as race science promoters and eugenicists, and students accused the event of hosting Nazis, a criticism organizer Kevin Dolan dismissed.
You can't be governed by people calling you names. Like, I think that these ideas...
That's what a compelling rejection of the accusation, you know? That's the classic way to refute being a Nazi. When someone says, hey, I think you're a Nazi on account of all the Nazi stuff you've said, and he's like, I refuse to be deterred by name calling. Okay.
They're not going to come from people who don't want to hurt any feelings.
Do you feel like there's a risk of alienating people with the kind of speakers you've selected and that tenor?
Of course.
And is that a risk for the larger cause?
I mean, yeah, some of those people are polarizing. They're my friends. And you know, I'm not going to chuck them under the bus.
We can't let the right own things that are that fundamental.
Paul Constance was the only liberal we met the whole weekend.
I'm here because I think it's a really big topic, and progressives need to be in the conversation.
In Germany, we do all what you describe. We just can't fix it. I don't think that's true. Based on some very racist stereotypes that I have of German people, I just think that you guys can't cut loose and unwind. I don't know how you guys even have babies, to be honest with you. I have no idea how your people manage it. I understand how the Southern Germans do. I don't understand how you Northerners do. I have no idea. They build them. We're actually quite kinky. Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, I feel like you're either too industrial to have sex, or you're too busy like shitting on each other's chests. I don't understand at what point sex happens.
Why is this such a big deal to you?
So I have kids in their 20s. Young people today feel very hesitant or unable to form families. It's very easy to talk about cat ladies and to imply that people on the left don't care about kids. It's much harder to actually put forward policies that would make everyone of any political stripe be more inclined to form a family.
I think that one of the things that often gets skipped over in any discussion of natalism today.
Ooh, you know what would be a really great pro-family policy that we kind of touched on a little bit ago? The single staircase apartments. The fact that most apartment buildings, because of zoning laws in America, are designed to only be studio or single bedroom because they only have windows on one side. But you can't really raise kids in a single bedroom apartment. I mean, you can if you have to, but it's not ideal. I think it'd maybe be a little bit easier to imagine raising kids if the standard unit of living was a little bit more family viable. Bring back courtyard apartments. Courtyard apartments are huge, 100%. And smart zoning to try to keep people of roughly the same like age and point in their life. Also like really important. So like the ideal being that like stuff like this, you know, there's a lot of these in Seattle. Obviously Barcelona has the mega blocks, but shit like this, very good for families. You have apartment designs that have windows on multiple sides of the unit, and like you have a park basically down here. I mean, not like really a full park, but you understand what I mean. Like like if you want to go like with your kid and chill for a little bit and like have other kids, you can like schedule stuff with your neighbors, but you need a high trust society for that. Like you need to be able to go like, I would love it if all the kids in this apartment block could get together and hang out during the day after school. So you print out some flyers and say 4 p.m. Friday, fun little pizza party down in the apartment courtyard, be there or be square. And then you attach like a photo of your family and you're all smiling. The crazy thing, like that shit could happen 30 years ago. Nowadays, I feel like if you tried to do that, everyone would assume you were insane. Like if you saw that flyer, you'd go like, what the this is like some kind of crazy Chinese crypto gang Tren de Aragua scheme. But it's like everyone did this. This one looks sterile. Okay, this one looks a bit sterile, but you understand what I mean. High trust society is what led to the Baraboo serial killer shit. No, it's the opposite. Low trust society leads to greater social peril because nobody trusts each other enough to help out or like relay stories or information or whatever. Like everyone's in a bubble. It's the opposite. High crime in the 90s wasn't caused by high trust, right? Because high crime is in areas with low trust. Like the crime in the 90s was mostly relegated to areas where it was not like it wasn't like people were trusting every guy who was like, hey, come down this alleyway, I've got some candy to give you or whatever. It just didn't happen like that, you know? High trust societies make us all stronger and safer because it means that you can rely on your neighbors for help, you know? It saves money because rather than needing like an expensive babysitter from a firm, you can rely on like the neighbor's kid or something. You know, you can help each other out. That's why serial killers often targeted prostitutes and drug addicts that no one cared about. Yeah, because people don't trust homeless people. People don't trust prostitutes and drug addicts, so they're easy targets. You know who the highest trust individual in society is? A young white woman. Because when you see a young white, old enough that you don't ignore what they say because they're a kid, because if a 10-year-old says like, they're probably just, I don't know, mad that they have to go to the dentist, right? No one fears them. No one fears the young white woman. No one thinks they're a threat. So they get a lot of default trust, which means that when they scream for help, they're the ones most likely to get, you know, a response. That's why the police respond the way they do to claims like that, right? Whereas if it's like a black homeless drug addict, it's like, oh my God, well, who cares? White women are huge threats, though. You're not understanding what I'm talking about. Finally, the privileges of being a woman. I mean, yeah, right? Isn't that like one of the known things? That's why like racist white women have weaponized that against black men. The idea that a white woman's cries for help are treated the most seriously. This is tangential to the point we're trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is that low trust society has destroyed everything, and it's bad. Finish the damn video.
Is kind of the actual lives of women who make decisions about whether or not to bring a child into the world. Don't forget about the ladies. Don't forget about the people who have the babies.
That's great. Well, thank you, CNN, for both sidesing and enlightened centristing a neo-Nazi conference full of neo-Nazis. That was very journalism of you. We need big communal spaces where you can do stuff like gyms, barbecue gardens. Yeah, but like most modern apartments have gyms and stuff. It's just that these apartments are designed for young professionals. So the only people who go to these gyms are the like psychopaths who wake up at 4 a.m. to dunk their faces in ice water. It's not, they're not like, nobody thinks of these as communal spaces. They think of them as like amenities for you. A low trust society came from people being overly autistic about the already minimum crime rate. Low trust society came about from a concerted bourgeois propaganda campaign that people used in order to justify higher and higher police budgets even after crime plummeted after the mid-90s. That's why. You could justify higher police budgets throughout the 90s because crime was pretty damn high. You could just point to the crime rate and go, yeah, maybe some more cops in the beat. I don't blame somebody for living in Detroit in 1989 and going like, yeah, I could go for some more cops around here. Sometimes I feel like there aren't enough cops around here. I understand it, okay? It was a very different world back then. But since then, the country's gotten a lot safer. So they had to find a way to continue to justify like increasing police crackdowns, militarization of the police with post-Iraq war weaponry, just